Hey, welcome to It's Your Life, Own It. My name is Marissa Bluedorn, and I am your host. I'm super excited to be here today. As always, we are focusing in on these segments in regards to this is your life, own it. It's taking responsibility. We're talking about the work-life spillover effect, going into areas of boundaries, decision making, taking responsibility for your finances, your choices in life, your decisions, the results that you're getting. And we hope our words inspire you. So taking center stage and owning it with me today is contributing writer, Own It magazine contributing writer Teresa Ann Palmer. Own It contributing writer, but also the editor in chief of Phoenix Fitness Fanatics is Tiffany Para. Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. And we are still talking about today taking responsibility. And I want to charge you with this. We talked about in our last segment, we talked about choices, responsibility, but we have the power to decide. So, Teresa, talk to us about deciding. What does that mean? We could take back what belongs to us, our own decision, not let society dictate to us, but we could choose. Talk to our audience in regards to how do we take that back and make our own decisions.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you, everyone. It's good to see everyone here. We do have the power. We have that personal power. And it's something that I don't think is talked about a lot because we have that inner power, that inner knowing, and that resides in our heart. And when we could tap into that, to that intuition, that inner knowing, our GPS, we take our power back. I've been doing cardiology for over 30 years, and I can't tell you how many people, patients, knew what was going on with them, but just didn't trust themselves to make the decision. So they left it up to someone else. And unfortunately, at least in the United States, that's how we've been conditioned. We've been conditioned that logic rules. So it's not logical to say you have intuition, that you have this inner knowing, but we do. And that's called following your heart. The millennials now do it all the time. You see it with how they're taking jobs that are unconventional, how they're living lives that are more unconventional. And we all really need to follow our heart and connect to our heart because that's who we are. That's our inner knowing. And a good example is technology has now advanced where government agencies actually have the technology, but it's not being used yet, to use heartbeat as the primary source of identification. It's like almost 97% accuracy. And what it does is you put your fingers on a little pad, just like your iWatch can do, and it takes an EKG, which is a tracing of the heart. With that tracing, each tracing and each heartbeat is unique to you. So what that tells me is there's no two heartbeats alike. The heart rhythm could be alike, but the way your heart actually beats and pumps blood throughout your body is unique to you. And that really tells us how important the heart is and that the heart is us. So I think a lot of it goes back to a lot of the traditions where the heart is the seat of the soul and it's the seat of our emotions. And I think now with technology actually saying that we're going to use technology, we're going to use your heartbeat as your identity, really says that the heart says who we are. And that's why it's so important to make that connection to the heart. Another thing is there's a marketing ad. And granted, it's about a cholesterol medication, but it's a person sitting on a couch talking to their heart, and they're listening to that voice in their heart, what their heart has to say. So this opens up a whole new way of looking at our heart because now the ad, the marketing, and the technology is telling us that the heart is so important. And the heart is all about love. It's where love resides. It begins with self-love. And self-love is all about how we see ourselves and the action to make ourselves better. So I think what we're seeing is the time is right now to really start connecting to our hearts, to start listening to that voice in our hearts. And that's all done by spending time with ourselves, whether it be through any type of movement, exercise, yoga, anything like that, walking, or whether it be by sitting quietly and just not having the distractions of our phone. If thoughts come into your mind, thank them for coming, but don't dwell on them. It's so important now. And I was so excited when I saw that ad, even though I think it should have been a lot broader than just a cholesterol medication, because the heart was talking to the person about you need to get your cholesterol levels down, and this is the medication you could do it. I think it should have been more broad about tuning into your life and listening to your heart and being guided by your heart like you were with a child as a child when it was so instinctual before we were conditioned to go more into our mind and ignore our heart. But it's a start. And with the technology saying that your heartbeat is your identity, and there's also saying the potential downside could be that using that technology will violate personal privilege because they will be able to tell your emotions because the heart is the seat of our emotions. So this little blip on the EKG machine will be able to tell authorities and whatnot what kind of mood you're in, and also tell things about your physical health. So for every plus, there's a minus. But I'm really excited about the fact that the heart is taking center stage, because what I've seen for too long in cardiology and general health, because I've also done a lot of urgent care, is we don't think about our heart until we think there's a problem. And that needs to change. And these two things together are changing that and saying, people, your heart is important. Start listening to your heart, start connecting to your heart, because your heart is who you are. And the millennials know that. And I think that everybody else needs to become more aware of that. So it's all about your heart, self love. And self love is also the action and taking responsibility for what you do.
You hit on so much, Teresa. I mean, really, really so much. And you could tell that we're like minded because as you started off, I had already written in my notes to take your power back when we make our decisions. It's like we need to take back the power instead of saying that we live in a world that we are told what to do. And that we have to conform to it. I've never really understood that personally myself, because I learned to, I don't know how or what, but I always learned to trust my own instincts first, remain open minded to others' perspectives, new opportunities, or new ideas, but to trust the foundation of my decision making based on my own knowledge and my own intuition. And it just really boggled my mind to hear so many people allow, as I got older and older, because when we're kids, we're just being ourselves. I was just being myself, trusting myself and having a lot of confidence in myself in spite of being bullied. So as a little kid, I got bullied. A little kid, hazel eyes, light skin. I got bullied when I was a kid. But even in the bullying and having that experience, I still had a lot of resilience. I still had a lot of self-confidence, and I pressed back on the bullies. So you may have initially started with bullying me, but I did not succumb. I came back and said, look, you just meeting me. So I don't know how this really works, this whole bullying thing. But what you're doing has got to stop. And that comes from self-love. I came from a family that had its level of dysfunction, but underlining, it had a lot of love and a lot of affection. And it allowed me the space to know what it means to love myself and to operate in that space and to protect myself when I saw a mistreatment of others, and allowing me. The one thing that our society has conditioned us not to allow that I did notice was emotions. We're not allowed to show our emotions. And I believe that what the up and coming generations are saying is that their emotions are important, but there's always a balance that we don't deflect responsibility of our own decision making and our own behavior to now blame everybody else and put everything on our society, that we do take ownership. And that's so important in regards to how we make our decisions, how we take power back to have a balance of life where we do have pressures, because that should be, because that is designed to help us to cultivate and strengthen and build integrity and ethics in how we are and how we show up in our own personal character, right? And leading ourselves and leading others. That's very important. And it's also important that we make quality decisions for ourselves. And so I'm going to punt it over to Tiffany. And I know you bring the perspective on health and well being. And then I'm going to punt it over to Sabine to talk about making the choices that maybe are not the norm for some people. Living internationally, Sabine is our international, she's an expert in the Dominican Republic, and living there in real estate and construction. And sometimes we have to make decisions as to whether or not we're going to live locally or we're going to move and spread our wings and fly, and have the courage to make that decision. And so, Tiffany, I'm going to go ahead and let you share your thoughts in regards to how we decide that we have take back the power to make the decisions to be healthy for ourselves, and share your perspective. And then right after Tiffany wraps up, Sabine, I'm going to ask that you share with why you want to make the decision, and don't worry about what everybody else is saying. Do your own homework to live internationally. Tiffany, you're up.
Wow. Thank you so much for having me, and everyone. Thank you so much for being here and tuning in. My take on this, there's a lot of people out there that, when I started my journey, right, I released almost 120 pounds. And as I'm doing this, everybody, oh my God, are you sick? What's going on? Why are you doing all this stuff? I was doing it because I had a rude awakening. And that rude awakening, it was already, my body was already telling me so much before, but then that rude awakening was a doctor's visit, a routine doctor's visit to say, hey, you know what, if you don't make some changes, you might die. What? Huh? Wait, I got to that point? But that's because I'm not taking care of myself, because I'm listening to everyone else, and I'm keeping up with the Joneses, right? I'm going out, I'm doing this and that. But once I really started going, I wasn't going to allow them to stop me from moving forward, because I loved myself enough. And also because I had a responsibility as a mother. I was a single mom at the time, and I did not want to go anywhere. So I started slowly. That's really the key, is the consistency and just getting started. I started walking a mile, and it was a mile a day. Then it was 2 miles a day. Then it was 3 miles a day. And people, why are you walking so much? Why are you just because I want to get out. I just got to do this for myself. And then when I started changing my eating habits, oh my God, you eat like a rabbit. Why are you eating like this? Why don't you eat this anymore? You used to eat this all the time. You used to bring this into the office. Oh my God, you used to cook this and that. Guess what? Because I was told that this is not good for me and I need to make the change. So I just started doing research, and I started finding others that were like-minded. That's the key. When you have others that are like-minded individuals that could really help to push you along the journey, it's an accountability partner. You have to have an accountability partner. I found an accountability partner that woke up with me every single day at 4 a.m. We didn't want to. We were told we were crazy. Why are you going to the gym at 4 a.m.? Because that's the only time that worked for us. You have to find the things, the timing that works for you. If you work a 9 to 5, maybe you got to get up early so you can work out and get it done. Or maybe, hey, you know what? Maybe you have problems sleeping. You can actually correct a lot of different things all at once. Okay. So if you're someone that has a problem sleeping, you work out at night right after work. Now you can calm the self down and get to bed. So the key here is, again, don't let all these naysayers get in your head. Do it for you and take it slow. Go to the grocery store and park across the parking lot and get those extra steps in. If you have a job where you have an elevator versus stairs, take the doggone stairs, especially if it's only a couple of levels. Those little things are going to be the thing that is going to help you to conquer this whole journey. It's just little steps at a time. Do not overwhelm yourself, because if you start too big, you say, oh, I'm going to work out 2 hours a day, every single day. You're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. Even with an accountability partner, you're probably not going to do it, because you guys are going to start fighting about it. You got to start where you are. So just see yourself where you are, have that self-love, have that confidence in yourself, because guess what? This body of yours can do a whole lot more than what you think. So have faith in your abilities and have grace with yourself as well through this journey, because it is an amazing journey. So that's what I got, Marissa.
Awesome, awesome. That is amazing. And you and I'm pretty sure anyone else that made the decision to get healthy and get physically fit came up with that same thing. I'll give you this one scenario. When I lost weight back in 2010, I remember going to a friend's house and they were having snacks, and it was really late at night. And I chose not to have snacks. Well, another friend of mine shared with me that that friend said, I don't know who she thinks she is, because she wasn't always this small. And all I could say to myself was, what? Because I chose not to eat late at night, I'm being ostracized. Like I'm being, I'm looked at as if I think I'm better than you guys. That's my decision, has nothing to do with my ego. I feel it's a decision to be healthy. People don't understand why they have acid reflux. Well, you're sleeping on a full freaking stomach and it's coming back up your esophagus. And so that's where it's happening, because you're not allowing your food to digest fully because you're eating so late. And then you're laying on top of a full stomach. It has to go somewhere and it's going to press back up. And so just stop eating late. And I ate late at night because I felt like I deserved to, because I had worked so hard during the day. But I'm telling you, being physically fit, I feel incredible. I feel light on my feet. I feel quick. I feel alert. Taking ashwagandha helps you focus. Taking your collagen helps your skin and helps your nails. And you're wondering why your hair is thinning. Well, are you taking anything? Are you making up for the things that you're losing as you're getting older as regards to nutrients and things like that? I love blueberries. I love spinach. Why? Because they're antioxidants. They're good for my body. I like to eat what goes good with my body, because guess what? What goes in really comes out. It comes out in your personality. It comes out in your attitude. It comes out in how you're showing up in life. When you're happy and you're making quality decisions for yourself, you're not mad, bitter, angry, or indifferent. You're excited. When you look good on the outside as well as you feel good on the inside, you want to compliment other people. You want to compliment other women. You know how to compliment, not compete. If you're not happy with what's going on the outside, do what is necessary to discipline yourself, make the decision, discipline yourself, and get the results that you want, so you can start showing up in life to other people as someone people want to be around, someone people want to admire, someone people want to be inspired by. again, we go back to emotional, I say, I love emotional intelligence, because emotional intelligence is recognizing that these are all emotions that we're talking about. I'm making an emotional decision not to eat late at night. Why? Because I don't feel good emotionally when I'm overweight. I don't feel good emotionally when I'm groggy and I'm tired. And so, because I want to be happy emotionally, I'm going to make decisions that are going to give me the results of being happy, and being satisfied. And when you're happy, you want other people to be happy, because you don't want the Debbie Downers around. People are resistant to your change. They're not resistant to their own change, because if they were on the other side, because the same individual who criticized my choice that night or judged my choice that night went and had help by doctors to lose their weight. I didn't have help by doctors. I didn't have money to have help by doctors like that. So I had to do the hard work 100% myself. I had to discipline myself not to eat a certain way. I had to discipline myself to get up. Just like you said, I love working out. Doesn't mean I love getting up to get to work out. once I'm there, once I'm in the gym, I'm happy. But getting to the gym is the issue, right? Is the biggest challenge is to get to the gym. Once you're in the gym and you're in the thrust of everything, you're on that treadmill. And I have to do a shout out to my PT and my personal trainer in the DR, Junior. He says, Marissa, intensity, reduce intensity, heighten intensity, reduce it. I am not a runner. I do not like running. I'm really not a big fan of being on the treadmill. I like walking. And I like walking fast, but he said, you're not going to get the results you're looking for unless you hike it up. And so he started having me run a little bit, walk a little bit, run a little bit, walk a little. Now today I can run on that treadmill, and I love running. I love that I don't have to look at the timer to see how long I ran so I could stop running. I can run and run and run and run and run and run and run. And I love it. But it took a choice, and it takes a decision, and then it takes discipline. And then once you see the results, that's the motivation. That should be your resilience to say, hey, I know I can do this thing because I'm seeing the results I get. And so, Sabine, I'm going to switch over to you, because when someone makes a decision to live internationally or branch out, talk to them about why. What's the ROI? What's the return on the investment when you make the decision? And ROIs are not always money. ROIs are how you feel. ROIs are priceless treasures that life fulfilling decision that you make that is just like, oh my God, I'm so thankful that I made this decision. It has nothing to do with money. It has everything to do with lifestyle and experience. So Sabine, I'm going to let you take it away and pretty much close us out, Sabine. Thanks.
Yes, actually, I have been in a similar situation, health wise, stress wise. When I am German, and I used to work in a bank in Germany. I have, well, actually 5 kids, but twins at that time to raise, and I had a husband that was had his own business. So I was doing his business at night. I was working part time in a bank. I had to worry about my kids. I had to do everything that is necessary to do on a daily basis, because my that time husband only concentrated on his job. So, and he knew that I'm a strong woman and I can handle it. Right. I mean, what should I do? I had to handle it, and I was able to handle it. No worries, because I'm strong, all good. But now looking back, like 20 years later, I know that that was so toxic, and I really, I damaged my health. I had everything. I was gaining weight. I didn't have time for myself. I was an emotional mess. And that happened twice to me already. And well, at that time, I made the decision I cannot be living this life in Germany where it's really not that easy, and everybody is just thinking in their own life, and it's all about money, and nobody's really willing to help you. You are like lost and alone on this journey. So that time we decided to go and move to the Dominican Republic, which was the best decision ever, because here, I mean, this is island life. People are so slow, and sometimes it makes you crazy, but it's helping you because they just take the speed out of your life. Plus, people here are very, very friendly, loving people, kind people. Everybody is always there to help you if you ever have a problem, you need some help, whatever. They are helpful. So I would say it is a result of everything, like, taking the speed out of my life, having people around me that support you. Um, that made me better. I had to move back for personal reasons with my then now Dominican husband to Germany, and got into that same situation as before. I kind of forgot how stressful life in Germany is, because you always keep only the good things in mind, no? And it just hit me. And so at the end, doing all that again that I had to do before, being responsible for so many things, I had a burnout. And I said, no, now it's the time. I mean, as you said, Tiffany, it's just, you get the red flag, and the doctor is telling you that you are not going to make it much longer if you keep doing this, what you're doing. So at the end, we went back again to live in the Dominican Republic, and the same thing happened over again. I took the speed out. I changed my diet, taking advantage of all that fresh fruit, all that fresh vegetable, everything that is here. Doing long walks on the beach, and believe it or not, I am down 70 pounds now after a year. I still don't really always get the motivation to go to the gym, because I'm a gym lover, but the motivation right now is the point. But I'm getting to that, because I also believe that you cannot do everything at the same time. And just looking back, it's like the envy, like you said. What did you call them? The daisies. What was that? The envy of the women, like, why are you not eating this anymore, and you weren't always that skinny, and all that stuff. It's a lot. It has so much to do with envy. Like, even the Germans that were looking at me like, what, you were living in the Dominican Republic, how could you? I mean, is that a good idea? And it's just envy, because they don't dare doing these things that we did. So, and this is the point, and you should just not look at these people. Just look at better people that make you a better person also, and believe in your strength, and rely on yourself, and just do what your guts tell you. I mean, you have learned your lesson already. You know what is good for you. You know what you got to do. So just keep with it. I mean, I think that's the only secret. There's not much more behind it. I think it's very easy, but you have to stick with yourself, and stick with what you can do, but don't overdo it, because you are limited at some point, and your body is telling you exactly, raising the red flags, and it's telling you when it's too much. And then you just gotta, step back a little bit, but just keep going. Keep going a little slower then, but keep going. I think that's all about it.
So, ladies, okay, ladies, please share with the audience. Just take 1 minute to share with the audience how they can connect with you, how they can contact you directly, and your final closing thoughts. But just two minutes, because we are at time. Okay. All right, Teresa, then Tiffany, and then Yusabine. Thanks.
Okay, people could connect with me. My website is wellbeinggal, all one word, WELLBEINGGAL.com. And you go to contact, and you could leave me a message, and I will contact you. And I'm happy to work with anyone who wants to learn more about how to improve their life, regardless of their situation, whether it be mental, spiritual, or physical. And I could show you the tools. We could work together and get you connected to your heart. So thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for joining us today. You can connect with me at Phoenix Fitness Fanatics Magazine. It is PhoenixFanatics Magazine, Magazine at gmail.com. If you'd like to subscribe to Phoenix Fitness Fanatics Magazine, where we are just that one-stop shop to show you how to get physically, mentally, spiritually, and financially fit, you can subscribe at Phoenix Fitness Mag 2021 at .com, Phoenix Fitness Mag 2021.com. We would love to help you just find that balance in life. So definitely subscribe. Google me, Coach Tiffany Parr. If you want your plan on how to get that balance in life, I can definitely help you there as well. So thank you so much, Marissa, for having me, and thank you everyone for tuning in today.
So if anybody of you is willing or planning to step into this Dominican Republic lifestyle, island lifestyle, I can definitely help you with that in any sense of the meaning. And you can contact me via my webpage, which is lunovirealestate.com. Lunovi is Lunovye. Real estate is just one word, lunovirealestate.com. And I'm also active on Instagram at Lunovi Real Estate Punta Cana. So you can contact me over there and ask me all the questions you have and maybe make your life a little more slow also. So thank you for your interest and thank you for having me here today.
Awesome. This has been excellent. And like you said, Sabine, it takes courage to decide. It takes courage to buck the system and do what your heart really, really desires. And so we hope that our words encouraged you. We hope that sharing our experiences encouraged you, that you are not alone. And like Tiffany said, get with like-minded people. And like Teresa said, get in touch with your heart. So this has been It's Your Life, Own It, Motivational Moments with Marissa and the contributing writer team for Own It Magazine and Publishing. Take care. Be blessed. Have a wonderful week. We're out.
Yeah.